So what we're talking about here is greenwashing, which is the act of misleading consumers about the environmental practices of a company or product. And so I think the key question for those of us on the call is to make sure that we are all asking very tough questions within our own companies to make sure that we ourselves are not guilty of greenwashing. And I think to kind of help clarify what greenwashing is, TerraChoice developed something we call the 7 Sins of Greenwashing. This is something that came out about 2 years ago, where we were actually walking through stores and looking at the products on the shelves and some of the absolutely crazy, outrageous, outlandish claims products were making. And we realized how clearly they violated FTC guidance or recommendations from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency about what kinds of environmental claims are legitimate and which ones are not, or recommendations that were put out by Consumer Union, the publishers of Consumer Reports. So what we did is we actually compiled all of these various recommendations and compared where products seemed to be violating them. And we ended up just kind of summarizing all of the recommendations from FTC, Canadian Competition Bureau, and others into the 7 Sins of Greenwashing. So I'll walk you through them very, very quickly. The sin of fibbing, of course, that's a big no-no, just outright lying about products. I myself am guilty of the sin of fibbing or was a victim of someone who was lying. I bought a refrigerator that claimed to meet the Energy Star standard. Turned out the refrigerator actually uses twice as much electricity as I was told when I purchased it, and the refrigerator doesn't even come close to meeting the Energy Star standard. So a company basically just outright lied. Another of the sins, the sin of no proof. Consumers these days are expecting that a company would in fact have some sort of publicly available proof for any environmental claim that someone's making. So if you're making a claim that the product is energy efficient or that it contains recycled content or that it's energy or water efficient, the manufacturers should in fact be able to provide you with some sort of proof. The sin of irrelevance, which is when you're making a truthful statement that is absolutely, completely meaningless. We see a lot of times, for example, shaving creams, oven cleaners, and others claiming that they are CFC-free. Well, that's nice, except CFCs were banned in 1978. So it doesn't make it a green product. It simply makes it a product that's obeying federal law. The sin of the hidden trade-off. This is one of the larger sins. We found this on more than 50% of products. This is when someone makes a kind of an exaggerated claim that this product is environmentally friendly or that it's green because of 1 or 2 simple environmental improvements in the product. So when you're focusing people's attention on just 1 or 2 issues and hiding a lot of other stuff, that in fact can be considered the sin of the hidden trade-off. The last 3 sins here, the sin of vagueness. If you cannot clearly understand what a term means or what a claim means, this is in fact probably the sin of vagueness. What the heck, for example, what the heck is Mother Earth approved? Who is Mother Earth? How do I meet her? And how do I know what her verification criteria are? So the sin of vagueness. The sin of the lesser of 2 evils. We found this one when people are kind of focusing your attention on products that really by any stretch of the imagination can't really be considered environmentally friendly products, yet people are kind of promoting them as, hey, it might be a bad product, but it's better than all the other bad products. So organic cigarettes, I think, is one of the best examples of that. Let me tell you, for those of you that might not be clear on this, an organic cigarette will hurt you just as much as a regular old cigarette. Final of the 7 sins is worshiping false labels. What we've seen is a large number of products that are putting some sort of environmental seal on their products. Unfortunately, many of these seals or seals of approval are things that were actually made up in the marketing department. They don't appear to have any meaning behind them at all. In fact, we did, call some companies and ask, where did this seal come from? What does it mean? How did it end up on your product? And one very forthright customer service representative told us after a few minutes of investigating, sir, I think we just made that up. well, yeah, I think that was our thought as well. So if you're interested in the sins of greenwashing, you can find lots of information, including better examples than the one I've shared, on the sinsofgreenwashing.org website.